Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you guys have seen the Jordan Peterson interview with Elon Musk, then you know that Elon Musk got rather emotional during that interview talking about his son, Xavier. And I made a video about it and I was quite critical of Jordan Peterson interrupting Elon Musk, and a lot of people didn't like that either. And anyway, since that video or that interview has come out, Xavier has decided to break Xavier's silence and share Xavier's own words or whatever Xavier thinks is the truth according to Xavier, and try and debunk and try and say that what Xavier's dad, Elon Musk, said during the interview wasn't in fact true. So it's more like a fact check for Xavier in this regard. So when you are living in a rather delusional state, you believe certain things that may not actually be the case, may not actually be true. Now, Elon Musk has said certain things during the interview, and it wasn't about Xavier. It was more about what Xavier believes and what has been done to Xavier. Not, he wasn't attacking Xavier because Xavier is Elon Musk's son, not daughter, son. But anyway, we're going to get into everything that Xavier said in response to Elon Musk. Now, I don't know Xavier at all, and I don't know the entirety of these facts, if they are indeed facts, or if it's just one person's own viewpoint and opinion. So, I mean, it's up to Elon Musk, but I don't think he's going to really respond to all this. It's his son just upset over the fact that his dad said something on an interview with Jordan Peterson that Xavier didn't in fact like. So here is Xavier responding to the interview.
And Jenna will say, I'm just going to come on here and say that I'm doing well. I'm doing fine, actually. And I am formulating a response and whatnot. It's being worked on. It's being worked on. Just hold your goddamn horses for 5 more seconds, okay? I promise it's getting worked on.
So Xavier comes on to a video, I believe it's on X. It says that Xavier's working on a response, and this is pretty much the response, right? And because Elon Musk said that his son is dead because of dead naming, not that actually Xavier is in fact dead, but the idea that Elon now has a son still, that part is dead because, well, Xavier doesn't believe that Xavier is a dude anymore. Xavier believes that Xavier is a girl somehow. So here we go. There's a lot of stuff I need to debunk, which I will get to, don't worry. But I just want to start with what I find the funniest, which is the notorious slightly autistic tweet. This is going to be a bit, so just bear with me. So here's what Elon Musk said. Xavier was born gay and slightly autistic. Now, I have an issue with saying someone is born gay. I personally don't believe that anyone is born gay or straight. I think you figure that out a little bit later in life. But I think you are somewhat of, I mean, you got your personality, your character traits that all come with you, but the idea of your sexuality, that I think comes later on in life. I think you're not born with this idea of what homosexuality is. You're not born with this idea of being attracted to men. You're a kid. You don't understand that. You don't know any of that yet. Hence, and same goes for being straight as well. I don't think you understand what that truly means. But everyone's going, oh, no, they're born gay. You have a proclivity to being gay. And oh, I always knew. Like, no, no, you didn't. Like, if a kid decides to dress up in female clothes, again, it's the same thing with that kid thinking that they are trans. They don't fully understand or comprehend any of that. They're a kid. Same with their sexuality. Like when they go through puberty and they start understanding and start realizing and start knowing a little bit more about themselves and who they're attracted to and why they're attracted to those sorts of people, then so be it. I think everyone, though, has a more natural proclivity towards being straight, and gay is like the complete screwness of that. Okay, like you've looked at. Uh, I'm not going to get entirely into what makes a person gay, what doesn't, what makes a person straight. You know, it's just psychology. Human beings, we're fascinating creatures, and I think the ultimate goal for God when He created male and female was that, and He even said it, like that man was to leave his family and cling to his wife. He didn't say cling to his husband, they cling to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So, and that's also a great comment for monogamy, not polyamory. Anyway, so here's the rest of Elon Musk's tweet. I know I went a little bit of a side note there. 2 attributes that contribute to gender dysphoria. So we know that autistic young kids have issues with who they think that they are. It's part of autism. I knew that from when he was about 4 years old, and he would pick out clothes for me to wear, like a jacket, and tell me it was fabulous, as well as his love for musicals and theater. I don't think that makes anyone gay, to be honest with you, but nevertheless, Elon Musk thought that that's what he thought of his son. But anyway, but he was not a girl. So Xavier responds and goes, "It's entirely fake. Like, literally, none of this ever happened, ever. I don't even know where he got this from. He's your dad, mate." I think he would remember more than you. But anyway, my best guess is that he went to the Milo Yiannopoulos School of Gay Stereotypes, just picked some at random and said, "Yeah, good enough," in a last-ditch attempt to garner sympathy points when he is so obviously in the wrong, even in his own effing story. So, yeah, there's a couple of, I guess, gay stereotypes in Elon Musk's tweets, like the musicals and theater and all that sort of stuff. I know straight people that love musicals and theater, and they're great with their fashion. Like, I happen to be, even though I may not look like it, I happen to be rather good with my fashion sense when I want to. And I'm able to look at other people and I'm able to help other people with their fashion. Like, I get it. I understand it. Doesn't make me gay. I happen to not enjoy musicals, but I sometimes do enjoy a little bit of theater. Again, doesn't make me gay. It just means that, hey, I sometimes have a like for theater because it's play. I enjoy play and I know how to dress. About it. So I get where Xavier's coming from to some degree. But as Elon being the father, I think Elon would somewhat know more. Just going on about that. But anyway, Xavier continues. "I did not have a love of musicals and theater when I was 4 because, you know, I was effing 4. I had a love of books when I was 4 and 5. I still have a love of books. I read a lot. I did not know what these things were. So how did you know that you were gay then? How did you know that you were trans as well? So you're admitting that because you don't know what musicals and theater is. So how would that equate to you suddenly knowing that you're gay or that you're trans? My earliest real experience with musicals was when my twin brother had a Hamilton phase in 8th, 9th grade and overplayed it so much in the car to the point where for a long time I swore off the entire genre. I never picked out jackets for him to wear, and I was most certainly not calling them fabulous because literally, what the F? I did not use the word fabulous when I was 4 because, once again, I would like to reiterate, I was 4. I mean, when I was 4 and 5, I was saying quite fancy words. I mean, when I was 5 years old, I'd go up to adults and ask them weird, crazy questions. So it's not like impossible. But again, Xavier, I think you were 4, mate. So the likelihood of you remembering versus your dad, I think your dad might actually have a much better memory in that case. But anyway, like, this is so obvious. I don't even think it warrants explanation, but apparently people believe this nonsense. So here I am. This entire thing is completely made up, and there's a reason for this. He doesn't know what I was like as a child because he quite simply wasn't there. And in the little time that he was, I was relentlessly harassed for my femininity and queerness. So again, I'll reiterate, you said that you were 4, but now you're saying you were harassed by your dad for your femininity and queerness. How would you know what they were? Obviously, he can't say that. So he's been reduced to a happy little stereotype. The word that would probably get me banned along. I can't even believe that Xavier used it anyway. To use at his discretion. I think that he's a lot about how he views queer people and children in general. Well, it says a lot. Anyway, according to Xavier. As for if I'm not a woman, sure, Jan, whatever you say. I'm legally recognized as a woman in the state of California and don't concern myself with the questions of those who are below me. Well, that's interesting to say, Xavier. Just because you're legally recognized doesn't actually make you a real woman. There's a big difference there. I want to point this tweet out from the brilliant Sal Grover. No man should be legally recognized as a woman because they are not a woman, and the legal lie validates a dangerous delusion while destroying the rights of the exact group they claim to be. Indeed. I, again, love Sal Grover. She is a brilliant woman. And Xavier, I hate to break it to you, mate, but you're not a woman either. Just because you say that you're legally recognized as one doesn't mean that you are one. That's not hateful. That's stating a biological fact. And the other point that you raised, you don't concern yourself with the opinions of those below you. Well, clearly you are, because you're responding to the interview that Elon did with Jordan Peterson. So clearly it must have triggered you somehow. Obviously, Elon can't say the same because in a ketamine-fueled haze, he's desperate for attention and validation from an army of degenerate red-pilled incels. And so that means I'm a degenerate red-pilled incel because I happen to enjoy the interview. That means millions of people that watched it happen to be degenerate red-pill incels. That's very interesting. And secondly, Elon Musk is not an attention seeker. The guy's got millions of followers over on his own stinking platform, mate. Like, don't you get that? Like, my goodness me, that's the whole point with this delusional rhetoric, and who are quick to give it to him. Go touch some effing grass, star. Like, I think you need to touch a little bit. I think you've touched quite a bit too much grass, if you ask me. Extremely shocked to hear this D-bag is a liar. Hope you're not too bothered by what he says about you. It's the person responding to Xavier. I'm not. Lol. Clearly you are, because you're responding to it all. I've just started to find it funny at this point, calling me dead on a podcast with Jordan Peterson, of all people, who are basically admitting you have zero reading comprehension by saying you were tricked into signing documents that you read over multiple times in basically a parody of itself. Like, it's honestly camp. Well, the thing is, Xavier, when you are a parent and you don't know what the documents actually mean, which a lot of parents don't, or you're afraid that you'll lose your child, then you'll do whatever it takes, usually. So I think, in a matter of speaking, Elon was tricked. Elon said that he was tricked. So I believe him, because there's also a lot of other parents that have been tricked. Like, when you don't know something, you don't know it. Like, you can't be expected to know everything under the sun. You can't expect to know what this document actually says that you're signing. You can't expect to know the ramifications right away. That's what you're expecting. But Elon is admitting something, and it's quite humbling to admit that. It's not the fact that he's illiterate. It's got nothing to do with that. Like, Xavier, mate, I know you're upset that your dad went on and shared to the entire world that you're in fact dead, metaphorically speaking. I know you don't like that, but your dad loves you, mate, and he's really concerned. And I think there's a bit of guilt from Elon as well. That's another reason why he's trying to destroy the woke mind virus, because you're so far gone. And this is more evidence that you're so far gone. Your dad's trying to protect you and help you, but you don't seem to see that, unfortunately, which is just a really sad set of circumstances and a really sad case, if you ask me. So, Elon, mate, I'm sorry. Once again, I know family is important to you. I know it's hard. I don't have a kid, so I can't relate on that front, but I can only imagine what it must be like, especially on a more global front and scale. But anyway, continue to pray for you, continue to pray for your son. But you guys take care, you be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.